Good morning, another fine Saturday. We got some stuff to do to this truck, but first, honestly don't even know what happened. So what I gotta do first, get that big guy down there through them trees, around to the front of that shop, and then backed up on the other side of the shop, up over there into the parking area. And I don't have no help to steer, so this is gonna be fun. Plan A, push it till I get down there somewhere where it's kind of flattish. Then I'm gonna get the tractor in front and pull it. And every time I need to turn the steering wheel on this old guy, I'm gonna have to get out, turn it, put a ratchet strap on the steering wheel to hold it in that position, and then fight two horses and a donkey to get out of the gate. I think I'm going over it. I don't know if she's got enough butt. There we go. Looks like we're dragging a brake. I got the brakes unstuck, as you can tell. Well, I'll tell you, hopefully that was more fun for you to watch than it was for me to do. I must have got up in that cab 1,486 times to get it 300 yards. Took about an hour and a half, but now we can get up in there and start stripping this thing down. Need to get all the interior stuff out, especially before it's 986 degrees outside every day. Right now it's 2 days after my birthday. April, what is it, 16th, 15th, doesn't matter. It's a day. So what my job is going to be is to get in here and start stripping all these interior panels out. Ain't gonna be too bad. Then probably go ahead and peel everything out of here. No reason to save, especially that guy. I don't know what I'm gonna do with the cab yet. It's busted up pretty bad, so I'm not gonna keep it. Probably just gonna give it away or sell it. So I'm gonna use it for a chicken coop. Be pretty luxurious, huh? Here we are sitting in the truck we're building with the steering wheel I don't like. This truck has a wood grain dash, but what I wanted to show you was my instrument cover, I guess you would call it, before we go tear the other one out. Let's see, look. It just completely broke off. I mean, you could technically probably fix it, but not without a bunch of fiberglass. This one's kind of busted up too. It's missing the little lock deal. So we're gonna go ahead and tear the new one out of the parts truck. What I'm thinking I might do is just paint it, the plastic dash, this final coat. See how much bigger that steering wheel is? I just love it, especially that logo. Anyways, the black faced dash, and most importantly, this beautiful thing that is super dusty. So we're gonna tear that off first because that's the most breakable piece. Then probably yank that dude off, a little surround, probably go ahead and see what it's gonna take to get the dash face and gauges out. Probably gonna end up dropping the column down to pull that out if necessary. I just don't know that there's enough room to that away. So let's talk more work. Let's see, we want to take it off. This stuff is going to be super brittle. There's probably nuts on the back, and I didn't bring any wrenches. Okay, be real careful with this plastic, 'cause I sure would be upset if I broke it. I should do these guys first. Be very, very upset with myself. Let's see. I'm gonna say that based on the fact that this is not already all broke up, this truck probably spent a lot of time in a barn. I don't know that, but typically the Oklahoma, Texas, or any place else south, sun is not very forgiving to plastic. Okay, I'm gonna put this in a safe place right behind you. These hardware. Okay, let's go for this piece. Some of the screws are already missing, which is fine. Not hard to imagine that somebody's already been in here and done this before. That was easy. Put this one over here. Watch your face. See about dropping this column first. Just free up a bunch of room. This ratchet's a little tired. I'm not gonna disconnect the column yet. When I move it, if I move it, still need to be able to steer it when I pull the cab off, you know what I mean? Alright, let's see. All the screws are already out on this guy. Probably gonna have to disconnect the speedometer cable, a couple other things potentially to get this out. Not sure how this guy comes up. So what I've done is I had to push that windshield back out very, very carefully so I could get to these screws that went all along here. I didn't figure you'd want to watch me pull every single one of them out, so hopefully I can get this out. This is what I mean by being able to pull stuff out of a parts truck and kind of see how everything goes together before I'm doing it to mine. Although in this case, the pieces I'm currently taking out are better than the ones in my truck, so I guess that doesn't actually apply much. Okay, this dude is in there like it does not want to come out. Alright, what's grabbing us? Let's see. So as y'all can see what I gotta do here. Let's see. Right there Here's a cable for the speedometer. Over here, right there, is one for the tach. These wiring harnesses should have a connector on them, so I shouldn't have to disconnect all the gauges individually. They should all have connectors. So I'm gonna get under there and start pulling some of that out, and I'll bring you back when it's time to pull the thing all the way out. So the hard part of this was getting the air lines loose. As you can see here, we got connectors on the wiring side of it. If I can get them apart without breaking them, that's the hard part. Come on, there you go. One. I need to get this cab torn down so I can get rid of it. You sure don't want to be crawling around here in the middle of July with everything else that'll be crawling around in here. Mainly waspers. Me and them don't get along well. I was working in my paint booth a couple of weeks ago, last week, whenever it was, and out of nowhere, back of my arm was lit on fire. Some wasper, don't even know how he got in there, attacked me. It's like, you little turd. Okay, get your air duct hose off. Okay, goes one wire, where does that go? Can't tell, I think it's a ground. Just snipping it. Snipping it. Alright, one gauge cluster almost out. Thought she was already out. What in tarnation is going on here? These gauges are beautiful. Just have to take my word for it when they clean up. This truck smells like ether. It's kind of weird. Just put this back in here loose. Literally still smells like somebody's underneath the truck trying to start the engine, which doesn't exist. Maybe the truck just wants to run. I'm afraid it ain't going to. Well, parts of it will, actually. Parts of it will live on in my truck, and there's another project going on that I haven't told you about. It's going to be weirder than your uncle. You know the weird uncle? Weirder than him. This video is going to be all over the place. Mainly because, well, I'm all over the place. When you got multiple things going on at the same time and on the same vehicle, those of you who have never restored anything, you're working on multiple components at one time, and just the very nature of it, you're going to be hopping around a little bit. Let's see. I'm going to climb back over to the other side and disconnect what needs to be disconnected, and then bring you back. We'll pop this dude out of here. This truck should tear down pretty quick. Sure is a shame this machine ain't out there running them roads. There's a lot more going on behind this panel. Some of this stuff was added on by somebody else at a later date. It's got some, like that blue wire, that big old red one. That's all aftermarket. That air traction trailer tractor protection valve, that's all newer stuff. Probably just gonna cut all the air lines. I already know how they're routed on my truck, so it doesn't really matter. What I'm gonna just try to do is avoid chopping factory wiring harnesses. Like that definitely ain't factory. Well, making progress. Gotta show you something I have never seen before. On the front of here, you got those little rectangular lights. There's a whole row of them. Say whatever, seatbelt, whatever. I don't know what they actually say because I'm not looking at the front. These guys, look how they're all daisy chained together all the way across the bottom there by what looks like tape. It's not tape. This stuff right there, I've never in my life seen that. So I guess those just glow. I'm not sure. There's nothing, they're not backlit or anything. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they don't do anything. They just keep them together. And they come out here on the end, see? Right here, and they loop over there and go to other stuff over there. You can see the name tag right there that says emergency engine stop. So I don't know what that is. I guess they just glow, kind of like a fiber optic cable. That is weird. I got a couple of more things to pop loose, but I'm not going to do it till I get over there and figure out how to disconnect that. Alright, well, I got it all disconnected. All the wiring is off, except for this little guy. It just goes to a ground. I'll unscrew that, but I don't want it to fall on the floor. So, back to these guys. They are, in fact, just like little printed circuit boards. And all these base things are where there's a clip that goes into the dash, so you can see it from the other side. But apparently, if your truck wasn't ordered with whatever this was, they just put a block-off plate in there, and then just, I guess all these harnesses are the same. Like, those don't do anything, and these ones don't do anything. And you can see the blank placed little pieces in there behind. So this truck did not have ether, at least not from the factory, glow plug light, or HT mirror. Now all these did was they lit above each switch. They were not like an actual like oil pressure light or something. They just illuminated on the dash, so you knew what underneath of it was, what all these switches, what their function was. So these are minty hard to find. The block off plates, the switches, this is hard stuff to get a hold of. So getting some of this stuff in good shape. Now where these went on the other end was to the back of a switch over there where they got power, and they went to this gizmo, this little star type thing, and one light bulb screws into the back of it, and then these little guys just snap in there. This one was already cut, so I don't know what that went to, but I guess you could just fill this thing up all the way around. But let's see, what's this one? This wasn't connected to anything. Emergency engine stop. So learn something new every day. Well, progress was made. Got all the pretty stuff pulled out. All that really remains is that stuff, air ducts and the wiring harness. We don't have to get up here and repeat and pull all the plastic out, but we'll do that another day. Well, that's a pretty good haul. Got my gauges, which are super clean. I don't want to wipe the dust, it might scratch them, but full matching set. The top surround for it, that guy that goes on the right hand side, the cover, which is basically gold, and this panel. Super happy with it. The whole mess. I'm gonna guard this stuff with my life. As you gentlemen will recall earlier in the video, that little fellow was making a lot of noise, and between the times of starting this video and now, my new pump head came in. New compressors are like 800 bucks, and then you got to wrestle a 500-pound jobber around. This was a hair under 300. It's pretty much an identical replacement. It's a 3 to 3.5 horse, I think. Comes with the valves, the pulley. Pretty good deal. So that guy lasted 8 years. Apparently that one don't want to be part of the party no more, but got to put that on it. That's my shop air compressor. I need that a lot. I'm going to be swapping a motor in a minivan. I got a big batch of stuff to prime. Naturally, wind's blowing like a hurricane. That's for the semi. These little frame brackets are for the semi. The shifting shaft there, and that little crossbar, and that little guy. I'm just gonna let you follow along just for a couple of the semi-truck items, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put you down while I do all the stuff that's for other vehicles. The reason I have to put you down is because I got to have a hand for the air hose. And that's quite difficult with only one hand on it. So all this is an epoxy primer. All it does is locks in all the body work or whatever that I've done. More importantly, seals out moisture, contaminants from getting into the bare metal and causing rust. So at this stage, this stuff's going to sit here and dry all day, get nice and hot. And all these pieces I painted, some of them I'm going to handle, do more body work to, like the shaft for the shifter. I'm going to be handling that, and you don't want to do that when it's bare metal. I'm going to change the U-joints in it. So this is just a necessary step you have to do before you can move on to either top coating or more primer and filler work. So, well, we're back in the old rig again. Got some of that priming and stuff done. It's real quick, wanted to talk to you, kind of go over what the immediate plans are for the truck. Before it's hot and the bees are out in full force, I would like to get in here and strip out the rest of these interior panels, you know, get rid of the hidey holes for the bees. Also need to pull this foam down. These are the air horns on the roof. And I need to get access to the inner part of the cab structure, especially in that corner. I need to start getting ready to get the cracks in the exterior of this truck, especially behind the smokestack there and down around the doghouse back behind there where you can't see. Get that stuff ready to TIG weld up. I would also probably like to go ahead and pull that piece off and pull the gauge face back, figure out why my tachometer doesn't work. I don't know if it's on the engine or elsewhere. As you've already seen me working on, I want to get the air tanks painted on the truck, finish the fuel tanks to get them mounted. At that point in time, I can get this thing running. Another issue that I need to figure out is there's a big old box that mounts right over that hole there, and the stock air conditioning system is in it, and the ducts go into in that trough down there in the floor, and then up right through there, and then up through these pillars up in here. I got to try to figure out what I want to do with an aftermarket AC system and how I want to mount it. A friend of mine up north has got about 38 of these trucks, and he's wanting to get a aftermarket AC system set up, so hopefully he and I can figure out something as far as what will work, what won't work, as far as fit, function, and finish. Just got to try to properly size the unit for a cab this big. I mean, really it's not that much space, I guess, but boy, look, I got some raccoon eyes going on for my sunglasses. Guess it's already that time of year. But anyways, I appreciate y'all hanging around and following along with this mess here I've got myself into. It's been a lot of fun. Looking forward to getting a lot done here over the next couple of months, as long as I can keep the money coming. Man, this stuff's expensive, and I'm about to have to start spending money. So I guess that's where that's what separates the men from the boys when it comes to building trucks, being able to complete it. So see you next week.